a Fox News alert. The United Nations Security Council has just moments ago unanimously approved new sanctions against North Korea.
Today we are saying the world will never accept a nuclear-armed North Korea. And today the Security Council is saying that if the North Korean regime does not halt its nuclear program, we will act to stop it ourselves.
The United Nations Security Council has unanimously imposed new sanctions against North Korea over its 6th nuclear test earlier this month. The sanctions cap crude oil exports to North Korea at current levels. It also includes a ban on its textile exports and prevents its laborers from getting new work permits abroad, which are key sources of income for the isolated nation.
The new draft resolution is considerably watered down from what the Americans put forward a week ago. It removes the call for an oil embargo against North Korea that the United States was seeking, and it replaces it with a cap at current levels of crude oil exports to North Korea. China has been very reluctant to take any drastic measures that might potentially collapse North Korea's economy, so this is certainly something they were concerned about in negotiations.
China wanted to continue that business, so instead it'll be limited to a maximum of 2 million barrels a year that North Korea can import into the country.
However, the text does keep in a ban on North Korean textiles, and last year textiles brought in nearly $1 billion, so it is a significant sector that would be cut from the country's revenue income.
On top of that, we're also going to see economic sanctions. No longer will North Korea be able to export any textiles, and it probably won't be able to export many foreign workers. Laborers sent abroad to other countries will now be scaled back and reviewed on a case-by-case basis.
The United States initially proposed a total ban on oil exports to North Korea, but apparently weakened the resolution following negotiations with China and Russia. Pyongyang has not responded to the new sanctions, but did threaten retaliation ahead of the vote.
The new draft also drops calls to sanction North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, to put in place a travel ban and an asset freeze against him. All these measures certainly adopted into the draft to win Chinese and Russian support for it.
Sunday, June 25, 1950, North Korean communist soldiers invaded the South, triggering what is called by many the forgotten war of the 20th century. Once again, Pacific soldiers would fight a fearsome enemy in a far-off country.
My dad was in the service in 442. He encouraged me to go into the Army and then go in Warsaw. On July 16th, all hell broke loose. The action started all around us. Basically, our unit got overrun.
We had to take the hill. We lost our radio, so we didn't know the color for, to tell which way we need the air support and whatnot. We couldn't tell artillery to give us more support. Our BR man, he got hit. And he died in my arms.
I had seen the civilians killed by North Koreans as they captured their villages. He shoots the guy right in front of my eyes. The guy's lying there, and that showed me the inhumanity of war.
Just was going to stand up, then a motor arm landed on the back of me, and I got hit. At first I thought, just my neck, just this close to my jugular vein. When he tried to lift me to the stretcher, and I said, oh, my arm. That time I thought to myself, oh no, I lost my arm. But no, it was not that bad. So then after that, I was better back to the mass.
In 1963, the U.S. became involved in the Vietnam War, and once again, Pacific soldiers answered the call to service.
In 1966, Uncle Sam thought I had spent too much time surfing and just hanging out. So I got my little draft notice in the mail, and I entered service on September 6, 1966. On Mother's Day, 1968, our battalion was at a Special Forces camp called Cam Duc, which was in the process of being overrun by a North Vietnamese regiment. And on Mother's Day 1968, I lost 18 men. I had the honor to carry what we refer to as our recon battle flag. My two sons grew up knowing that story, and so in 2004, when N.Korea'S, as a young platoon leader, asked me to send the battle flag to him so that he and his platoon could carry it in honor of my lieutenant, who at that time was still missing in action. And the sad part, or the continuation of that legacy, is that N.Korea' was carrying that flag with him the day he was killed in combat. You know, it's been nearly 11 years since we lost N.Korea', and I have not gone a day without him traveling with me. So I wear this button. I've worn this button every day for the past 11 years.
The Pacific soldiers would continue to fight America's wars wherever they're called. They would now deploy to the Middle East in operations Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom, Afghanistan.
So I deployed to Afghanistan in 2004 for the first free elections in Afghanistan. Actually, my battalion was called by the 25th ID out of Honolulu, Hawaii, to support their efforts in securing those elections. And we deployed to Iraq in 2007.
I'd say 2-3 weeks ago, we got hit. Within 300 meters, we got hit with 3 IEDs.
May 22nd, 2007. We were on routine patrol, starting the day rolling north on Route Tampa. We were then moving the vehicle into a new position when my vehicle was struck by a fairly large IED. The IED was so large that it punched a significant hole in the right side hull of the vehicle. Ended up killing 2 of my guys, Staff Sergeant Christopher Higdon and Private First Class Robert Worthington. Gave their lives that day. That blast also resulted in the amputation of my right leg above the knee and severed my brachial artery due to shrapnel off of my SAPI plates.
These soldiers from Hawaii have fought in every American war through the 20th and 21st centuries. The Pacific soldier continues to defend America and paves a way for peace in the region with our many allies. There's really no way to ever repay them, but we can listen to their stories so that we will never forget their many deep sacrifices.